Hello YouTube, so I'm going to be doing a tutorial that was requested by someone on DeviantArt. It's to basically create this. It doesn't take too long, it's quite quick, but I'm going to go through it quite quickly as well. You want to start by opening up a picture of a fire or someone smoking or something like that. I'm going to use a campfire because it looks happy. And you want to make this into your background, so you just want to have two little bits. You want to resize it down to the bottom right hand corner I normally use, just like this. You want to remove any parts that aren't absolutely black, so in this case I'm going to use the eraser down here to take out these little rocks, and then we're going to make a new layer and fill it in with black so that it all looks like one layer, and then I'm going to merge the two together. Okay, now we've done that, we're going to import a first image we want to create, so I'm using hearts. You can use skulls or anything really. So you just want to place it on the canvas and then cut out the bit selection that you want of the object. So obviously I just want this bit and not the white background. Sometimes you might need to rasterize the object to make sure that it all works okay. Then just cut it out and delete the layer, and then put it on a new layer and name it if you want. I'm going to name mine heart because it is a heart. Just paste it there, and then you want to use the transform tool, so Command T on a Mac or Control T on a PC, and then just rotate it, and I'm having a problem here with the zooming in. You just want to rotate it to where you need it, and well, if you rotate it at all, just move it around the canvas. Place it where you want it, so quite close to the fire, but you don't want it to be too close. If you're using hearts, you probably want to have more than one, so the effect looks quite good. So you want to duplicate the layer, make them a little bit smaller, so you've got a feature heart and a few smaller hearts. That often looks quite good, and then move them around, placing them quite close to the larger heart so the smoke doesn't look too much like it's going off to one direction. So you want to do this a few times. I normally do it with probably about 4 hearts. So have one big one, two a bit smaller ones, and maybe a third smallish one. Often looks quite good with the effect. So when you've got everything blending together, you've got lots of colours in there. Obviously I name all my layers, it's up to you if you do that or not. I find it helps, but whatever you guys want to do. Okay, the next thing we want to do is desaturate all of our hearts. So you want to click on the layer you want to desaturate and use Command Shift U on a Mac or Control Shift U on a PC, I think it is. And that'll make it all the hearts black and white so that you don't have any colour that will affect one of the effects in a minute. The next thing I'll do is check all of your images. Obviously I'll put all these smoke images in the description for you, so you can use them yourself. I'm just checking through what one I'd like to use to start with. I always start with the one coming from the cigarette, as it's quite a good sort of starting bit of smoke. So I'm just going to drag and drop it onto the canvas, and then, because obviously my flame is on the right hand side of the thing, I'm going to flip it over, which I'm doing now. Flip horizontal. I often find it easier to use the help bar and search what you want, because it's quicker. But if you know where it is, obviously do that. You want to now use your eraser on the cigarette so that you can raise it. If it's not letting you do it, you probably need to rasterize the layer, which you can do by right clicking on it. Once you've got a vague outline of the smoke, so you don't have to be too worrying about cutting out the cigarette properly or raising it. So once you've done that, you just want to select it and move it over after changing the blend mode to screen, which means that none of the black will show up. After you've put in your first bit of smoke, you want to go click on your heart layer, then go to stylize, and then click on glowing edges, not find edges, which I just did there, but glowing edges. And that should bring up a box that looks like this and show you a picture of your heart. And once it looks like that, it's fine. Then click on each layer and use Command F or Control F to repeat the effect on each heart until they all look like that. So that'll be a good, easy way to blend it in with the smoke. Then you want to continue to bring in the rest of your smoke images. This one here, obviously it's blue, so you don't want that colour in. So again, you can use desaturate like you did earlier on the hearts. So you get just the grey and the whitey blacky colour, what do you want to call it. So you just get that. So obviously it blends in nicely with the rest of the smoke, you don't notice a difference. Again, I used the flip tool, so it's the right way around. Then I'm going to use the transform tool just to move it around a little bit, rotate it and resize it to how I want it. This smoke here is often good for obviously if you want to fill in a gap, like to fill in the actual objects like the hearts, because it's quite a thick smoke that can be easily manipulated using the warp tool, which I'll show you in a second. Okay, so it's easiest just to lay it over the heart in general so it covers all of it, and you can create little bits in a second using going to edit, transform, and then warp. Then just sort of drag the edges around until it's over the heart, like this. When you're doing this, you often want to make sure that the smoke isn't perfectly inside the heart, because you don't want to have a perfect edge to it, because it often looks wrong. You want to have it sort of flowing out the edges a little bit. Okay, so we're nearly done with this heart here. As you can see, it fills most of it, and we're just doing a few final corners. Just trying to make it fit in here with this left-hand side. There we go, just tick that. And now just use the eraser after rasterizing the shape. You want to make it a little bit smaller actually. And just rub out a little bit of this gap here so it looks a little bit more fluent. And there you go, that's pretty good, quite like that. Obviously you want to import some more smoke in, so let's use this one this time. Let's drag it here. For this one, you can see it's obviously the opposite way around, so you want to take that picture and you want to invert it, which is Command I or Control I if you're on a PC. Obviously I'm doing some things wrong here, but just ignore what I'm doing on the screen and actually just invert it. Like that, and now you can see it same as all the others, so you can just change the blending mode to screen and treat it like any other shape. I'm just going to speed up here is what I'm doing, so that the video hopefully fit into one video on YouTube. If not, I'm sorry, but I'm sure you can see what I'm doing and you can replicate that yourself without any help. Okay. So now comes the fun bit. You want to make your two colours. And if you really like, use a red and an orangey colour. Just make sure you got both of them with one colour, it saves a little bit of time in the long run. And now you just want to make a new layer called colour and paint over it where you want the colour. Obviously where you put the red is where you'll get red, and where you put the orange where you get orange. So it's probably the most fun part of the tutorial really. Just make sure you get it all completely covered, and it doesn't really matter if you go over the top of it or not, as long as all the colours on the screen over the smoke. Okay, once you've added all your colour, you want to go to the blending mode and change the blending mode to colour, and you'll see that the effect we showed you at the start is pretty much been replicated here. Sometimes you might want a little bit more smoke around the fire, which I'm going to add here. So just drag in another bit of smoke. Probably the big one's quite a good one to use because it's quite full and looks quite good coming straight from the flame. Also make it blending mode to screen again and drag it over the flame. Then once you've positioned it in place, just stretch it to the right sort of size so it covers the flame and blends in the rest of your smoke quite well. You want to make it a little bit shorter though. Then you want to transform it using the warp tool again. It's a big part of the tutorial really. Just drag it so it all mixes into the smoke. Any excess smoke you can use the eraser tool on and just remove it altogether once you rasterize it. And then you should be pretty much good to go. You just want to add some more colour. Just drag it below the colour layer and then click back onto the colour layer and repaint it a little bit, which is a bit more fun. once again. Probably use a bit of orange around the flame if you're using orange. Looks quite good and blends it into the flame as well. Okay, so that's it from this tutorial really. A few little touch-ups you can make, but in general it went quite well. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to comment, rate and subscribe. Mine and the user who requested this tutorial's DeviantArt address things, links will be in the description. So feel free to visit us. Thanks for watching and goodbye.